There's a few things to consider here. From a content planning perspective, we need to know our audience, know our goals and our strategies. So goals are what we're trying to achieve. The strategies are how we're going to get there. We need to know our tactics. We need to know our metrics. Our metrics are the things that we're going to be measuring. We need to know our competitors or our competition. We also need to know our skills as well as capacity. It'd be great if we could do everything, but in reality, we can't. We all have limitations. And from a capacity perspective, even if we're working in a team, there's only so much our team can do. We also need to know our release or schedule calendar, because in reality, we don't want to go bang with everything at the same time. We want to stagger it so different activities are happening at different times. We also need to know how to optimize, which means to improve or to make better, as well as we need to know the tools that we're using. So let's look at the description for each of these. Audience. So here we need to understand the characteristics, demographics, as well as the online habits of our target audience. In terms of strategy, we need to know the requirements and the strategy for the social media that we're using. In terms of tactics, we need to consider, can we break down our goals into individual tactics? When should we post? What should we post? What media is best? The time of the day makes a difference as well as the level of monitoring and intervention that we're going to do throughout the process. In terms of understanding or knowing our metrics, we're going to consider what key performance metrics will we track? How will we measure success? The great thing about social media is there are so many different trackable and traceable elements. We need to figure out which one is most relevant for us, depending on the goal that we set out in the first place. In terms of competition, everyone has competition. And quite often our competition, if they're direct competitors, they are fighting for the same audience or the attention of the same audience. They might be using the same social media tools as well. So we need to consider what media are the competition using? What topics are they focusing on? Maybe we can focus on similar things or slightly different things depending on the strategy we're trying to use. We also need to consider where are the opportunities for our content development as well as distribution. So in terms of development, if our competition or competitors are using predominantly images, well, maybe we can do video. If our competition is doing pretty much video most of the time, well, maybe we can do audio and podcasting. So there's different strategies that we can look into and different methods we can use based on what our competition is doing. Something to also consider, for some businesses, what we want to do is to appear to be the same or equal as our competition. For some businesses, we want to appear to be much better or greater than our competition. And for some businesses, it's the opposite. We don't want to compare ourselves to the best. We want to compare ourselves to somewhere in the middle so that we target a different audience altogether. Think of it this way, right? Our product may not be cheap, right? Our product may not be cheap. But if our customers think our product is affordable and financially or economically the situation is bad, when they go shopping, they're more likely to pick up our product. Our competition might have a really great premium product, which is really well priced. It's an expensive product. It's right up there. But when the customer goes shopping, they go, oh, economically things aren't very good. They're working less hours. I know this other brand. It's familiar to me. I wouldn't buy it normally, but I know that it's a good product and it's cheaper. I'm just going to buy that. The price difference might be marginal, but it might be enough. So it really depends on what we're trying to achieve. Knowing the release or schedule. So like I was mentioning earlier, we don't want to do everything at the same time. What it ends up doing is it just clutters the market. If we are communicating on every single channel, we're basically spamming our target market. So we need to consider what media is to be produced in what order. For example, if we want to go with print first, well, then let's make sure our print content is ready. If we want to do interviews and blogging, let's make sure that content is ready. If you want to finish off with making longer videos for YouTube or releases through other channels, then let's do that next. Knowing the release allows us to do a few things. One is make sure we have the resources we need, make sure we have everything done at the right time. And lastly, and probably most importantly, it allows us to complement different things. So for example, billboards. So traditional media billboard, it's not very interactive. A post on Instagram, a post on Facebook, there might be click-through links. It's now more interactive. But when they click it, where do they go? Do they come to our website? Do they go to our YouTube page? Do they go to a sales page that we've created, which also helps to track and monitor how and where people are coming from? So having these things made in a particular order really helps us to build our campaign. In terms of optimization, so here we need to figure out what are the triggers that get our audience excited. Remember, we got to be positive and we got to think of an emotional hook that someone can attach themselves onto. And we always want to be useful when and wherever possible. So we have to find ways to keep our customers coming back for more. We need to expand our reach with paid as well as organic posts, so to mix it up. I mean, in a perfect world, all of our media attention would be earned media and people would be sharing our stories and sharing our products and talking to other people about our products. But in reality, we are going to have to pay for promotion as well. We also need to look at promoting scarcity and a call to action. Now, this one's really interesting. Scarcity, from an economic perspective, means when there's not enough of something. So something becomes scarce or becomes rare. If we can promote the concept of scarcity, like imagine someone's clicked onto our website and we go, only one left, only two left, available for a limited time. What this ends up doing is if the customer is thinking about purchasing, they've almost made a decision, they read like, only one left or 50% discounts or midnight tonight, they go, ooh, call to action. I want this. I'm almost ready. You know what? I'm going to buy it just in case. From an optimization perspective, we also have to consider how can we be unique and how we can encourage key influencers. When we talk about key influencers, we're talking about key people in particular segments, the decision makers. How do we encourage them to make a decision? And in terms of knowing our tools, this one's pretty straightforward. Think about all the different social media tools that are available to us. We might want to use a particular tool because it's really popular right now, but we also need to know how to use it, know how the automation works, know how the analytics works, know how the uploading works, and basically every bit of it. So knowing what we're using helps us to use it better.